Namaste everybody, Irina here. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and as usual I invite you to a cross-legged seated position and we will start the practice shortly. In this video I will be working towards a peak pose, which is one of the arm balances, and this pose is the crow pose. The Sanskrit name for this pose is Kakasana. You might heard it as referred as Bakasana, which is actually a crane pose. And the difference between the crane and the crow is the position of your arms. So in the crane, we tend to have an arm balance with the straight arms, and in the crow, it's the bend in the elbows. And that's pretty much the fundamental difference between those two poses. So we'll be working towards building up towards Kakasana, which is crow. The arm balance could be practiced as a beginner if you lay foundations, correct foundations, and I also encourage you to use the blanket or the pillow or the blocks with you. I don't have any on me today. However, I'll explain later when we are going to go into the pose how to position and where to position those props. Okay, so we'll start with sitting in the cross-legged position. Your hands could be the palms could face down, or you can bring the palms up and create one of the mudras by bringing the index fingers and the thumb to touch. The gaze is closed. Keep your chest open. Relax through the facial muscles, so softening through the jaws, softening through the eyes, keeping your shoulder blades slightly retracted to avoid rounding through the back. Deepen the inhalations and start deepening the exhalations as well. On the inhale, allow the belly to round, expand like a balloon. And on the exhale, the belly drops to the spine. We gently start making the circular movements with your shoulders. So you can choose to bring the palms down and making the rotations clockwise and then changing anti-clockwise or vice versa. And back into the neutral position. Let's bring the arms up, extend, bring both of the hands together, interlace the fingers, and then bring those arms up and behind you. So I'd like you to open up through the chest. You'll feel a stretch in the underarms. And take a few breaths here. And then bring them forward. Rotate your palms out and round through the back. Engage the solar plexus here, as well as we are rounding and pressing the shoulders away from each other. I'm tucking in the belly. And release. Let go. Come into the all four tabletop. Your hands are under the shoulders, the knees are width hip apart. Inhale, let's gently bring the shoulders back, stretch through the throat. Exhale, round through the back. Look at the navel. Inhaling, rolling the shoulders back. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Look up. Exhale, imagine that you are pressing the mat away. Engage the solar plexus, navel drawn in. Inhaling, arching. Exhale, round, 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 round. Back into the neutral. Let's bring the elbows down, interlace the fingers. So we're gonna press into the forearms and we're gonna lift the knees off the floor and pedal through the feet. So start opening up through the underarms. We start putting weight into the upper body. Keep pressing into the forearms. And then drop the knees to the floor, straighten your arms. Okay, let's lift the left leg. Point the toes of your left foot. And here we're gonna lift the right arm forward and let's balance. Imagine that somebody is pulling both your right hand and left foot to the opposite directions. And back into the center. The other side. Shoot that energy to both of your right and left side of the body. So keep engaging, keep extending back into the center. Let's tug the toes. We're going to lift the knees and pedal through the feet. Okay, plank. Stabilize the shoulders, transition into the plank. Hold the plank. Engagement with your abdominal muscles, glutes engaged, quads engaged. And let's get chaturanga into the up dog. Like the toes into the down dog. Drop the knees, elbows on the floor. Lift the knees over the floor, press into the forearms. And here you can walk the feet slightly forward. And keep pressing, keep sending the belly towards the thighs. Drop the knees, plant your hands, press into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Plank, chaturanga, up dog. Roll the shoulders back, open through the chest. Your hands under the shoulder. Keep the chest open, tug the toes. Down dog. And breathe. Bend the knees forward. Step, walk or jump. Separate the feet with hip apart, slightly even wider. 45-degree out position of your feet, and then press into the Malasana, the squat pose. So bringing your elbows inside of your thighs, bring the chest to open, roll the shoulders back. And breathe. And bring the hands to the floor. Step back into the plank. From plank, use the momentum. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Drop the knees, drop the elbows, dolphin. Streak the back of the throat, bringing that ujjayi breath. Keep the perineum squeezed. Keep vacuum creating into the belly. Drop the knees, plant your hands, extend your arms, lift the knees. Adho Mukha Svanasana, bend the knees, look forward, jump. Separate feet with hip apart. Malasana, the squat pose. Okay, one last round. Plant your hands. Plank. Chaturanga. Up dog. Tuck the toes. Down dog. Drop your knees. Plant your elbows. Dolphin. Plant your knees. Plant your hands. Lift the knees. Bend the knees. Jump. Separate the feet. Malasana. All right, so here we have already warmed up the upper body and we have put some weight into the wrists. So the wrist should be quite warm and ready to go into the Kakasana, the crow pose. So, okay, what's happening in that pose? I'm going to show you the side way first. So, upper body. Right, upper body, I want to round through the back. I want to engage the muscles in my arms. Remember, I also put the weight into my hands. And where do I put my hands? I try to go a little bit, maybe slight outside rotation of the wrists. Elbows are bent. I'm creating a cross shape between the leg and the upper arm. So remember, Kakasana, arms bent. Right, so the last but not least thing is your lifting. So that lifting comes from the core strength. And that's not only your abdominals, but also squeezing the perineum, using the internal glutes muscles, and engaging all those core muscles that you can feel. All right, so let's try. Remember, if you want to have a bit of safety blanket, prepare the blocks in front of you, or put the cushions or the blanket. Okay. Right, let's go. Arms, so you're 1 foot at a time, squeezing the perineum. And coming out. So the other side. Remember, so one lifting, maybe just 1 foot to engage with the upper body and just to test the waters. Rounding through the back, bringing the weight forward, lift 1 foot, and then maybe lifting both and then bringing those feet away. And gently here. And from here, you can go into Balasana, the child's pose, and have a few breaths here. And from here, peel the forehead off the floor. And just bring your arms behind you. Bring your chest forward, arch through the back, and stretch through the throat. So we're doing the counter pose, just to ensure that we're going into that nice extension and balancing the energies. And back into the center. Close the gaze. So open your gaze. And from here, you can go into Shavasana and have your relaxation pose. Consciously relax through the body, and please, if you're doing regular practices, do not skip the Shavasana. It's quite an important part of your yoga practice. Or another alternative, you can go and carry on with your usual practice and use that as a warm-up for the regular practice. As always, thank you so much for joining me on this practice. Thank you for your energy, and I'll see you in the next video.